na hakuna mtu ambaye atakuja kutuletea maendeleo. Hakuna. Wengi watakaokuja
In Capital News tonight, Bishop Shaw warns Tanzanian leaders and the wealthy to use their positions to help those in need. And in international, Kenyans support implementation of new syllabus despite opposition from teachers. And in sports, National Youth Soccer Chair to remember Dr. Mengi for efforts to develop youth soccer in the country. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. The head of the Lutheran Church, Bishop Dr. Frederick Shaw, has warned Tanzanian leaders as well as the wealthy and urged them to use their positions to help others, especially those in need. The bishop made the statement at the funeral service of the executive director of IPP, Dr. Reginald Mengi, that was held at the Lutheran Church in Moshi town.
Dr. Mengi ametuachia mengi ya kujifunza kama yalivyoshuhudiwa na wengi.
Dr. Mengi has left us a legacy as witnessed by many. I ask that from what has been said, let us not become poor in spirit by oppressing and depriving the rights of the weak, but let us not be intellectually poor, which affects a lot of Africans. We must believe that we can.
Waafrika tumekuwa wavivu wa kutumia akili zetu.
Speaking on behalf of the President, the Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa said that Dr. Mengi will continue to be remembered for his huge contributions to society.
Nguvu na subira na kutuongoza kumsindikiza mpendo wetu katika nyumba yake ya milele.
Dear mourners, there is no Tanzanian who has not heard about Dr. Reginald Mengi's contribution to this nation and the entire country. Every Tanzania can bear witness to that. We recognize and value his contribution, and we shall keep his legacy. This is a clear indication that we value your contribution.
Kwa sababu natambua kwamba
for over a week now, people from different faiths of different ages have spoken and discussed at length Dr. Reginald Mengi. Dr. Mengi has gone before us. There is no enough words of kindness that can be used to bring Dr. Mengi back. What we can do is for all of us to reflect how we can honor the legacy that he's left us.
Kutafakari na namna gani tunayaishi yale mengi mema ambayo mzee Mengi aliyafanya.
Some top officials such as the CCM Secretary General Dr. Bashir Ali and the House Speaker Job Dugai gave evidence of the cooperation, contributions and huge assistance which Dr. Mengi used to give them. The Secretary General and House Speaker also mentioned various things which they had learned from the late Dr. Mengi.
My condolences to you for the passing of our leader in the community. I was not supposed to speak, Bishop, after your speech because all has been said. I thank you and I promise that I will continue to be your student and to heed your teachings. But because I've been given this opportunity, let me speak about your contribution in the building of our nation. In his contribution towards preserving the environment, Dr. Mengi stressed on the need to plant trees, which is something I would like us to take from here, to plant trees so as to protect our environment. On behalf of the Parliament of the United Republic of Tanzania, I've come to bid you farewell, Dr. Reginald Mengi. We thank God for the life that touched many lives in Tanzania and across the borders of our nation. You showed by action, commitment, and perseverance for the youth and Tanzanians that through hard work and the right skills, it is possible to be rid of poverty and to be wealthy possession-wise. You showed us that one could still be generous. You had so much love and became a father to orphans, widows, the sick, and those who were not able. You did so much which earned you a lot of respect.
Dr. Mengi's son, Abdiel Mengi, said that in addition to the fact that his late father was known for many fine and unique reasons, his patriotism and his love for everyone, like the very poor, for example, had always been one of his priorities.
He loved to have a breakthrough. He crossed boundaries such as thought, normal practice, etc. He was not defined by his poor background. Dr. Mengi had a lot of contribution to regional radio stations that were just starting. Like here in Arusha, we have Arusha FM radio, which is a leading station. He had a very big contribution. We involved him on numerous occasions when we got stuck, and he helped us to where we are right now.
Thousands of mourners from in and out of the country have today taken part in the burial of the former executive chairman of IPP, Dr. Reginald Abraham Mengi, at his home in Mkuu village, Kisereni suburb, High District, Kilimanjaro region. The historical burial received history-making attendance, with the number of people there making the large space seem very small. Now, the Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa led the government delegation during the burial, which was attended by the Speaker of Parliament, Job Ndugai, ambassadors, religious leaders, and representatives of various organizations in and out of the Tanzania. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Now, a business meeting involving Zambia, Rwanda, Burundi, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Tanzania have recognized the significant contribution made by the former executive chairman of IPP Group of Companies, Dr. Reginald Mengi, who was laid to rest earlier this evening in Kilimanjaro region in the growth of business in East Africa.
I would like to say that it is our aim to add value to agricultural produce and crops. However, I must add that we cannot add value to agricultural produce and crops if there are no markets. Thus, I must say that it is our aim to create a market so that adding value to agricultural produce and crops will be a profitable venture. I would like to say that the businessmen and traders of Kigoma need to show a great desire to take advantage of the business opportunities which can be found in Kigoma. However, I must add that the businessmen should try to form partnerships with wealthy persons of Kigoma in order to capitalize on the business opportunities which already exist. I would like to say that on this particular subject, the government has three aims. I must say that our first aim is to increase Tanzanians' understanding of policy-related issues. I must say that our second aim is to increase trade with neighboring nations, and I should add that our third aim is to increase business cooperation.
The government of Germany, through its plan to aid friendly force, has agreed to increase their time frame to provide aid to Tanzania People's Defense Forces (TPDF) for 4 more years, from 2021 to 2024. Among other things, it will build a large level 4 army hospital in Dodoma region. The ambassador of Germany to Tanzania, Dr. Detef Wachter, with a delegation from Germany's Ministry of Defense and Ministry of Foreign Affairs, shared the decision today in Dar es Salaam when meeting and talking to President Dr. John Pombe Magufuli.
I'm glad to inform you that we'll be in a position to extend this cooperation program for another 4 years, from 2021 to 2024. And I continue to look forward to this great cooperation with our Tanzanian friends and partners. We will continue to cooperate very much in the medical field, building and equipping hospital and training hospital staff. But we're also thinking about extending our cooperation and do more training.
I can just express my gratitude for the reception here in this country and for the hospitality of our Tanzanian partners. We had a very successful and fruitful stay so far. We will continue to be here until Friday evening, and we are looking very much forward into continuing and deepening our cooperation with our Tanzanian friends in the field of military cooperation.
Hivi sasa tunayo program na wenzetu wa Jerumani.
We currently have a problem with our German friends to renovate and build new health centers in most parts of our country, as well as equipping hospitals. They've also started a health college that trains hospital personnel. In addition, they've facilitated us with mobile clinics that give health care to our forces out of the country in peacekeeping mission. We thank them. They've assured Honorable President that this program was to complete in 2021, but they've moved the time forward to 2024. We hope that during this period, we'll see an increase in aid, not just in health, but also in managing military vehicles.
Wamemhakikishia kwamba wataendelea kutusaidia mpaka mwaka 2024.
The government has asked the Parliament to approve the budget estimates and expenditures amounting to 4.9 trillion shillings in the 2019-2020, including 1.3 billion shillings for the work sector, 3.6 trillion for the transport sector, and 3.9 for the communications sector. Minister Kamwelwe, Minister of Works, Transport and Communications, made the request when delivering the ministry's budget, where he said that 500 billion from the funds will be used to improve Air Tanzania Company Limited and 2.4 trillion for construction of the Central Railway.
Dreamliner yalifanyika na ndege hiyo inatarajiwa kuwasili nchini mapema mwezi Januari mwaka 2020.
A consignment of fake Sabcob pesticides from Zambia and 4 types of pesticides that have expired have been caught being sold to coffee and maize farmers in Siha, Kilimanjaro region.
I
would like to say that in this shop, my inspectors and I have found one type of pesticide which was not registered at all in this country. In addition to this, I must say that we also found 4 types of pesticides whose period of use has expired according to the laws of this country. I would like to add that because this shop has been selling pesticides which are expired in Tanzania, the farmers who have bought these pesticides have only damaged their crops. Thus, I would like to announce that we have closed down this shop. I'd like to say that these sellers of illegal pesticides have caused great damage to my fellow farmers and I in Siha district. I must say that since the pesticides that were sold to me were illegal, this means that there are still pests on my crops in my farm. Please, sir, I am begging for your forgiveness, so please do not take my sales permit away from me.
Simiyu Regional Commissioner Anthony Mataka has led hundreds of residents of Shinyanga, Mwanza, Dar es Salaam and Simiyu in last respect and burial of the former Regional Commissioner of Shinyanga, retired Brigadier General Dr. Yana Balele, Kidinda Street, Bariadi District.
We recognize his big contribution, first in the formation of this region, but also in the great education revolution inside the district of Bariadi during his time as Shinyanga Regional Commissioner. As regional leaders, we would like to mark his life in the naming of Dr. Balele Secondary School and Brigadier General Dr. Balele Road. During his time in the army, he attended various courses such as in gynecology, of which he qualified in England in 1984. During his service, he rose to different ranks. By the time of his retirement, he had risen to Brigadier General. What will bring us back to the contribution of the departed, laid to rest here as his legacy? All we can do is to ask God to rest his soul in peace. You have finished your journey.
May his soul rest in peace. Now the residents in the area have complained about the fact that surgery services are no longer available at the Rusu Health Center due to shortage of doctors, which causes them great inconvenience in terms of looking for other services at the district hospital.
When the health center was opened, for only a couple of months, patients could be operated from here. Then it stopped. Women who needed delivery service had to go to Nzega. Find a scenario where a health center was built and well equipped with adequate staff, yet it operates from a couple of months. The Member of Parliament is then forced to come back and make things right. One major problem we are faced with is a lack of enough health personnel. The doctor here had to be moved to the district hospital.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows next after the break. And in international news, with teachers continuing to oppose implementation of new syllabuses in Kenya on claims that the required preparations have not been made. Now the National Parents Union in Kenya has come out in support of the implementation of the new syllabus.
When the curriculum was introduced, there was so many questions that answers, but later on all questions were cleared. However, as parents on the issue of teachers, there is no need to worry because many teachers went for training, which was a major success. Right now we have no fear because what we know for sure is that our children will be taught well by the trained teachers. What we're calling on the government is to make these trainings sustainable.
The President of Burundi, Pierre Nkurunziza, has directed leaders and defense organs to investigate foreign nationals living in the country illegally so that they are returned to their countries.
Honorable President has called on responsible leaders and security organs to search for people who are living in the country illegally and foreigners to be deported back to their countries. On the issue of domestic and border security, Honorable President has said that he is satisfied with how security organs are operating. Moreover, he called for more security at borders posts, especially now as the country is heading towards election.
And that is the end of international news. Business news follows shortly after the break. We'll be right back.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
To be rich, I have to be a business person.
It's not an easy road at all.
People need to understand. You must quickly think, how cost effective are you going to be?
Business acts as a way in which it can bridge that gap.
Business Edition will keep you informed on latest developments in the financial sector, extractive industry, tourism, agriculture, energy, construction, and so much more. Meet entrepreneurs who create employment opportunities. Watch Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news tonight. The Minister of Minerals, Dr. Biteko, has said that in order to get a high success through the minerals sector, laws and policies in African countries must be united so that there are economic benefits nationally.
African Man Vision ni document.
African Man Vision is a document that provides guidance to African countries on how to manage our natural resources, especially minerals. Through this document, it will allow African countries to have one direction. Our future expectations is to create a roadmap that will allow us to have clear vision on how Tanzania
Mobile company Tigo along with Tecno have launched two smartphones, Tecno Spark 3 and Tecno 4, with 3G and 4G internet capabilities.
In collaboration with Tecno, we're introducing Tecno Spark 3 phones with high capacity and are available at affordable costs.
So kikubwa leo tumeamua kuja na simu zetu mbili.
We have brought two phones from Spark Edition, popularly known as Spark Series, where here is Spark 3 as today. We're launching Spark 3 Normal and Spark 3 Pro.
Spark 3.
Farmers of cereals such as maize in the southern highlands, including Iringa, Njombe and Mbeya regions, have been advised to increase the value of their harvest by processing them so as to cope
na serikali na hasa wafanyabiashara ni kwamba kuna haja ya kufunguka macho. Badala ya kuliangalia soko la Iringa hapa, waangalie soko nje ya mkoa na zaidi sana nje ya nchi. Na baada ya kuendelea kuuza bidhaa ghafi, basi iko haja ya kuongeza thamani.
And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows next after the break.
Hi, my name is Kotaro Tokuda.
What's up? My name is Sean Garnier.
I'm John Bond from Liverpool Football Club. The hip, hop, a hip, the hip, hip, hop. You don't stop the rockin' to the bang, bang boogie. Say up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Now what you hear?
I'm watching Sports Gazette.
I'm watching Sport Gazette.
And you're watching Sports Gazette.
With Sebastian.
With Sebastian. Peace out.
Yes! And you can also watch Sports Gazette for highlights and interviews regarding sports.
Do not miss Sports Gazette every Wednesday at 7 p.m. only on Capital Television.
And in sports news, the National Soccer Chair, Youth Soccer Chair, Lamek Nyambaya, says they will remember the late IPP Chairman Dr. Reginald Mengi soccer in the country through his support for the under-17 national team Serengeti Boys.
We should implement the good things that NEWS.MAY told us in his memory. He fought for youth soccer, knowing that the youth are tomorrow's nation. He strived to make sure our youngsters get the chance of playing in the big teams. He had a huge aim, and lately he promised the players that if they had won the competition, they would have received cars. This is because of his proximity and love for Tanzania's.
Woodball has been said to be a sport that will provide opportunities to youngsters in the country, especially in schools, due to the availability of facilities for the sport.
This sport can be played by anyone, whether he is 80 or 90 years of age, female or male. So we will use this opportunity to put the game in schools so that we can reduce this problem as well as the problem of poor attendance in schools, because it is a game that can be played by 100 people at once.
The Golden State Warriors have won plenty of games on the post-season stage without their biggest stars. This time, Kevin Durant went down and Klay Thompson and company found a way when the Warriors desperately needed it. Here is the report.
Thompson scored 27 points, including a key layup with 4.1 seconds left, and Golden State overcame Durant's calf injury to beat the Houston Rockets 104-99 on Wednesday night for a 3-2 lead in the Western Conference semifinals. Durant is scheduled for an MRI exam on Thursday after he strained his right calf late in the third quarter. His status for Friday's Game 6 had yet to be determined, but didn't seem promising. We'll have to claw away to one more win, Curry said. Durant limped to the locker room after landing awkwardly following a baseline jumper. The two-time reigning NBA Finals MVP finished with 22 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists.
Beating Valencia offers Arsenal a route to the Champions League place they were unable to clinch via the Premier League, but Yana Emery said his players must look beyond that and be motivated more by the chance to secure the club's third European trophy. Here's more on the story.
The Arsenal manager, who won this competition 3 times in a row at Sevilla, also insisted the match with his former club Valencia is his final, a game he wished could have been left until Baku on 29th of May. A draw with Brighton left Arsenal needing a win, a Tottenham defeat and an 8-goal swing on the final day to qualify for the Champions League via top 4 place, and Emery effectively admitted defeat on doing so. But while the Europa League, in which Arsenal lead Valencia 3-1 after the first leg, represents a second chance, he rejected the idea that the competition is primarily a gateway to the Champions League.
Maurizio Sarri believes Chelsea's ability to bridge the chasm to Manchester City and Liverpool at the top of the Premier League will hinge upon having a 2-window transfer ban frozen or overturned after FIFA rejected the appeal against the sanction. Here's more on the story.
The club will take the case to the Court of Arbitration for Sports (CAS) in the hope of having the sanction reduced or overturned, and will seek an interim ruling at CAS to have the ban frozen while the final appeal is heard. If that is granted, as it is anticipated, they will be allowed to sign players this summer, and Sarri is hopeful they will make the additions he considers crucial to reduce the gap, currently 24 points, to the summit. Chelsea were found to have broken rules regarding their dealings with under-18 players from foreign countries over a number of years. They were charged with 92 breaches of Article 19 alone, the most serious offense, and found guilty of 29 of those cases.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. Thank you for watching and good night.